Alright guys, so part of this build was always going to be putting the tablet in this case that I bought, and then getting this case to be part of the radio bezel. There's a Mercedes that has it this way, and it looks almost as if the tablet's kind of been mounted on top of the on top of the radio in the bezel, and it looks pretty cool, and I wanted to go for that look. But if you can see, hello Fleck, if you can see, this case has got a raised lip around it. It's very little on the top and the bottom, but on the left and the right it's much higher. There you go. So it looks pretty cool. The notion was to cut a hole in here, crack apart the front of the tablet, and sit the screen down inside that little hole, and let the bezel around the screen form a nice line, a nice fit there. But in reality, here is the tablet. I have taken it apart so it can presumably drop right down into this hole I've made. But here's the problem. Right here, there is just too much geometry going on for me to get this to fit right. This bezel, I can get it, or I can see where I can get it to seat nice and flush against this. But since the width of the tablet is wider than the insides where it's nice and flat, the tablet is going out into this hill where it's coming up, and this part is raised. So now this bezel has got to sit nice and flush in here, but then it's got to pass through this raised part. It has to pass through this raised edge if we want the front to be down flush with this inset area, and it's just too mind-boggling to figure this out. So, number one, that's why I buy spares of everything. But we're going to flip around and reuse the back of the case. The back of the case is perfectly flat. I can cut a hole. I can sit the tablet in there. It will be flush all the way around with its nice little bezel and look cool. The reason I didn't want to do this from the start is because you can see also there's this little inlaid line here. So when the tablet is put in here, it's in its hole, it's all nice and cool. It's fitting everywhere. I'm going to have this little thing here on the top and the bottom, or if I scoot the tablet all the way to one edge, then I'll have a lot more at the other end. But this is fine. I can live with this. The reason being, if I get it flush up here, this area down here is where I will choose to inset my buttons, because the on and off switch are going to be hidden. They're going to be inside the case, so I've got some nifty switches, which I'm looking for right now, which I've got right here. I've got this nifty light up power button, which will be here, and I've got this little rocker which I'll be assigning to the volume switch, and it'll sit in here. So it'll kind of look I don't know, like this line is an area designed for the buttons. You know, making the best use of what I have, trying to get a professional look out of everything. But that stuff is, I don't know, days, weeks away. So for now, back to the drawing board. well, back to the Dremel board to make a hole here, very similar to this one for the tablet.